What does looking effortless really mean? In this week's video, I want to dive in and explore this kind of holy grail of style that we're all trying to achieve. We're all, well, maybe not all, some people actually like to try hard and look a little over the top, and more power to you. But I think a large majority of us are trying to look good, feel good, but also look effortless. No one wants to look like they actually spent a lot of time on this stuff. Obviously, behind closed doors, we all spending a lot of time on this stuff, even trying to make a lot of content and videos that you're trying to force people to watch out of this stuff. So it goes without saying that we all know we're not really effortless when it comes to this fashion stuff. But the more knowledge we can gain, the more I think we can start to exude an authentic sense of effortlessness. For me, it's really about building a wardrobe with items that are easy to grab, that all seamlessly work together and make sense for my lifestyle. I'm going to do a bit of a show and tell of the items that I really lean on, that allow me to look dressy, but also really function in a really practical way and allow me to go about my day to day. Kicking things off with a Western boot. This is nothing new. I have spoken about this on the channel before. Let's actually just clip that away. The Western boot. I favor a kind of minimal one, so I'm not going for any crazy detail through here, just something really basic. I have this pair in a khaki suede, and I also have a pair of black. This is the black pair. I also have some ankle boot styles, a black pair and a red snakeskin pair for when I really want to be jazzy, but I really just feel like the Western boot is the way to go. To really break down why, it's got a lot to do with the heel height. It's a very comfortable heel height, but it's got a femininity to it. It's not a block heel. It's not chunky. The rim on the boot, I like a kind of sleeker one. I don't like anything that's actually a traditional real deal boot from like Texas, you know? I like ones that are fashion shoes, but I think they just have a feminine quality to them. The toe is not too pointed. It's practical to walk around in. And yeah, the heel height is comfortable, but the line of a Cuban heel is a little bit feminine, and I think it's just a little bit of an elevated way, an elevated boot, let's say, for casual dressing that toes the line between I'm dressed up, I feel elevated, I have kind of a heel on, but I'm also really casual and practical. The next item I'm going to mention are my reworked shirts. I do think that any button-down shirt could be a great tool as an effortless category to kind of lean on in your wardrobe. You can visit my website if you want to see some of my reworked shirts and also my Instagram account. But the work that I do really adds in elevated details to existing shirts. That happens by the way of buttons added through the waist, so you can kind of cross the shirt over and have it look quite undone, but also have an element of added detail there. I have different styles that I do. So I've got this one that's got some twist detail at the back, and there's multiple ways to wear this shirt. So essentially it's just a big oversized men's shirt in essence, but you have all these other ways that you can add detail into it. So it just makes your outfit feel a little bit more interesting. Because obviously I use men's shirts as the base, nothing about the style ever feels fitted. So you've got this looseness around the armhole. There's room through the sleeve. The sleeve is a little bit longer, so it feels a little bit slouchy. It's giving effortless in its nature. I really love leaning on these in my wardrobe because you can kind of throw one on with a pair of jeans, with a pair of trousers. It feels undone just throwing one on, but because it's a shirt, it also makes you feel elevated. The perfect middle ground to create a lot of effortless looks right there. The next thing I'm going to mention is very important and might come as a surprise, or maybe no. One of the things that I really rely on to feel effortless is my sunglasses collection. I have a few here just in this little drawer. Let's pull out this little red pair. You've seen me style these before. On camera now, they're not looking that jazzy, but they've got like a little slim shape. They're a red color. What they do is, if you've got a very simple outfit on, I'm just wearing a black pair of trousers, a black blazer, a white t-shirt, very simple. But it's the addition of a little pair of sunnies that can really elevate a look. You don't have to do so much in your outfit. You can do a lot less in the way of accessorizing when you have something in your outfit that feels a little bit more fashion. I definitely have collected some really good sunglasses over the years. I have multiple pairs. You could go for like a yellow pair. You could go for something in a purple shade. All of these will work just to add an extra element of fashion to a fairly simple look. In keeping with that theme of trying as little as possible, having these simple tools and building collections of things that you know when you just easily throw them on, they do all the work for you. Leading in next to another item I absolutely can't live without that makes me feel so effortless every time I wear them is a men's oversized blazer. I'm saying men's in particular because women's blazers, even the more modern oversized ones, tend to actually fit because they're cut to a feminine shape. If you are purchasing a secondhand men's blazer, they tend to feel a little bit more slouchy, a little bit more lived in, they're secondhand, they don't really fit the frame of a woman, and I really like that about them because it makes it look effortless. Also, there's that element of not caring, you know, that genderless idea. Let me show you some of my faves. This one that I'm actually wearing already is really good. It's a style I call a minimal blazer. So basically I took a men's blazer and then I just cut all the collar away. It's really great in keeping it a little feminine by taking away the collar and having this clean line, but I still get all that room through the shoulder and all that movement through the body. Love a little double-breasted moment. This one's really quite a statement because it's got that nice wide lapel and it's got an extra exaggerated shoulder. I think this one's vintage Hugo Boss. It's really, really soft because I've got it in a really, really big size. It just gives me exactly what I'm looking for when I'm wearing a big oversized blazer. Another one of my faves, and mostly just because of the color, it's kind of like a gray green. It's a really good in-between neutral. This is also a minimal blazer. It's just a longer length than the other one. I try not to collect too many of my own things because that would be just way too easy to get a very extensive wardrobe. Again, you can see it's really just soft. The sleeve is long. It just feels slouchy, really lived in, and effortless. The last one I'll show you is one I call the Miles blazer. Basically what I do is I add this little ring through the front and then there's a tie on the side here so you can kind of wrap it over and cinch it, which is really a cute look. As with my shirts, I like my outerwear also to have a few ways to wear. If I am adding a detail to the blazer, I like that you can adjust it and have some room to play. This one's also got a cute cutout at the back, which I really love as well. Such a cute little surprise. I like having a lot of blazers because they're easy just to pull up and throw on. You can have really basic outfits, just shirts and jeans or t-shirts and trousers, but it's so easy then just to throw on the blazer and it kind of makes your look for you immediately. The last thing I want to talk about is trousers with good detail. In the same way, I think there's a theme in everything I've mentioned being the thing that you add to an outfit that kind of makes the look for you. I think sometimes, especially on days where it's practical to wear a t-shirt, I've mentioned before, I don't love just wearing a t-shirt on its own. I just feel like it looks very basic and it's not giving me anything. I much prefer a collared shirt or a top with some detail in it. But let's be honest, a t-shirt's got its place. And I work from home, so there's not often a reason to dress up. So if you have a pair of trousers with some detail in them and you are just wearing a t-shirt and a very plain blazer or a very plain jacket, you can really use the detail in them to amp up a look. And I feel like if you build your wardrobe out with these considered pieces, it makes pulling off a good look really, really easy. So for instance, I have this pair of barrel leg trousers. They have got a really great shape through the leg. There's the ability to adjust the hemline at the back. They're a good neutral wash. They feel interesting. And every time I wear them, I just feel amazing. I feel like they really make a look. They can be the statement. And I feel like often trousers aren't really the statement in a look. It's generally the top or the jacket or the accessorizing or the jewelry. So if you just pay a little bit of attention to accumulating the right things, it kind of takes the pressure off having to put so much effort in, having to really do too much. Once you've picked your trousers, picked your top, you don't have to do anything else because the good detail is already built into the piece. Another pair is just this pair of joggers. So quite simple right off the bat, not much to it. There's a really nice pin tuck stitched into them. There's a contrast stripe down the side. There's the option to cinch in the hem of the trousers so you can adjust this, and they kind of feel sporty but also elevated. The fabric feels luxe, but they're super comfortable to wear. So they feel smart but effortless all at the same time. To run down the list again, a great walking shoe that feels elevated, the Western boot, comfortable but giving you the height and the put togetherness that you might be looking for. Reworked button-ups, the best way to go if you do not have the ability to make your own or you do not want to shop or have not found one with me yet. You can just rely on a general men's oversized shirt. And I love this category because if you just think of a basic men's shirt, you can pick these up secondhand, Or if you have a male partner, you can just like swipe one from his wardrobe. Sunglasses, such a fun area to play. It's my accessory of choice. I think everyone would have a different one, but for me, my love is sunglasses just to elevate a look. Blazers, cannot live without. Again, another item you can source relatively affordably on the secondhand market. And then trousers with good detail, not forgetting every element of the outfit. I changed this a few years ago in thinking when I purchased my trousers that I needed them to work harder for me. And I now only look for these kinds of details. I won't buy anything that feels too basic. Even the one I'm wearing here today, it's got like this cool drawstring through it that actually has these adjustable pleats and these little ties that hang down the side. It's got a little dropped crotch, which I really love. So I try and steer clear of having things that feel too basic, because then I'm able to put together looks that make me feel creative, but that take no effort whatsoever. That's the goal for me, is to feel effortless with all my outfits. What's the goal for you when you're getting dressed? Is this something you also think about so in depth? I'd love to know. Drop a comment below and I'll meet you there.